Shalom and blessings, warriors of Yahuwah and the truth. I've decided to do another lesson today on timeline. The end has begun. I really would like to get the lessons done with this book so that I can open the new ones and I can get into some new lessons with you guys. We left off with the BYNV project overview. Oh, Bella, you better not be eating my hair at night. Oh, I have short pieces. Back in 2007, or thereabouts, a sister, Pam Stanford, asked Lou to do a translation of the scriptures using the real Iberite script, rather than the Aramaic lettering used in the ISR version. Lou had been working on at the idea of using the Aleph Ta in a translation already, but he was still working and learning about the damage done to the phonology of Hebrew by the Karaite or Masoretes, and wasn't quite ready to tackle such a huge project at that time. Pam hired a seminary student to produce the Besorah of Yahusha, but all Lou did was give it the title, write the preface, and give a few pointers to help out. When the time was right, he started to translate the first book, Bereshit.
I apologize.
Hold on. Sorry. The Iberite script within the English words. From there, he printed a title called Besorah of Yahusha, Natsarim version. Many wanted a leather edition, but he learned that genuine cowhide really meant layered pigskin. So he opted to produce a polyurethane covered edition that would not cause the reader to become unclean every time they studied Yahuwah's word. He reprinted the soft-cover edition with some spelling changes and have a supply of those and the deluxe covered edition still in stock now. In the event that Yahusha takes him, the 2-volume editions of the BYNV are available now and printed by Amazon. More details about the BYNV may be read there as well. And I'll leave the link in the description box. At first, many of us had become familiar with Yahushua. That's what I became familiar with at first, as the phonetic spelling. Lou received a phone call from a mailman in Canada who told him to use Yahusha, and the spirit of Yahusha came on him to confirm that that was his only name phonetically. Yahusha was one of the transliterations he had mentioned as possibilities in earlier editions of Fossilized Customs. But starting with the 8th edition, he consistently used Yahusha. Pam Stanford was telling him that year about how much trouble the printer was having with Yahushua spelling, but she will confirm that when he suggested using the spelling Yahusha, the problems evaporated, and the first Besorah of Yahusha went into production. Yahusha crashed his computer to keep him from some inaccuracies. So if he were to answer who was the first person to inform them, it would be Yahusha himself. At a video seminar he recalls doing back in 2007, he caused him to blurt out that Masoretes just made up the vowel points. The vowels A, E, Y, O, and U already exist in the text as written letters. There are no special marks in the Dead Sea Scrolls or any other documents before the 8th century. This revelation was to become a very controversial point from that time on. All we have to do is look at the Hebrew letters, and we only see what he inspired. Yod, He, Ua, Shin, Ayin. Yahusha. We are being refined, and knowledge is increasing steadily as the dawn of Yahusha's return approaches. The name was used in the 1860s by Alexander Hyslop, and by the 1930s it began to emerge as being critical to understand better. Now, in the information age, we see that some letters did not exist, like J or W. The 4-lettered word, or tetragrammaton, consists of vowels. meaning only the mouth cavity is used, no lips, teeth, and tongue, or roof of the mouth, and tongue is used for vowels. This means Yehovah is not quite correct. Also, the Yeho rather than Yahu form used for the three-letter Yod-He-U was propagated by the Karaite sect called the Nazarenes, who did not want anyone to utter the name Yahuwah accurately. The Jeho is seen in the work of James Strong's Concordance published in 1890. Is based on the KJV, the Anglican Catholic translation. The KJV is the Latin Vulgate taken into English. The name Yahuwah was replaced with the Latin word Dominus, meaning Lord, in English. Our eyes are being opened, but unless Yahusha opens them, we remain blind. Strongholds, philosophies hold us captive. Yahusha has other sheep to feed, and when he comes, we must be found feeding them. If we waste time listening to arguments about when he will return, we are being distracted by demonic forces. When he is coming to reign is the subject most feared by the demonic realm, and our orders are to listen to our shepherd and teach his sheep to guard his instructions. Only Yahusha can break the strongholds we inherited from our fathers. And if he uses us to speak to them, it's not our words they will hear. His sheep will recognize his voice. There are many strongholds or misunderstandings to overcome. Translators admit replacing the real name. Simply read the preface of your translation. The truth will set us free. It helps to know the difference between despising something and exposing it to be a lie. Iesus, Greek, IESV, Latin Vulgate, 4th century, and JESUS, first seen in the 17th century, are easy to research. Oh, you're supposed to start dash 15 minutes ago. Stop! And only found in translations into foreign languages. Stop, Roscoe. Look at your favorite translation's preface and read it slowly. It will admit substituting the name with a device. They set aside the name because of their tradition. The truth will set us free. The OT is not Genesis through Malachi. That's a promotion of Marcionism or Marcionism. It's Marcionism. The Old Covenant was written on a scroll and hung beside the ark, not inside it, beside it. Deuteronomy 31:26. The priest's instructions to offer animal blood for atonement. This is obsolete and has passed away. Hebrews 8:13. The Ten Commandments teach us how to love, being the everlasting covenant between Yahuwah and his people forever. It was renewed in Yahusha's own blood. Do you love his commandments? He's ready to help you do that. He said, "Love me and guard my commandments." Keep digging. Something has been buried that is very, very precious. We have to dig through the barriers of language to get to the pearl of great price. Luke recorded at Acts 26:14 that when they had all fallen to the ground, Yahusha spoke to Shaul in the Hebrew tongue. There are 11 confirmed incidences mentioning the language of Hebrew. In the Natsarim writings, the captain who arrested Paul was surprised that Paul could speak Greek, so Paul was multilingual. Ask Yahusha and he will tell you the true name of our deliverer. It cannot be a Greek name no one ever heard of until the 17th century. JESUS. Okay, I'll read the picture and then I'll show it. Adapted from cover photo of Bar. Biblical Archaeological Review. My name's Paul, and I was accused of being a ringleader of the sect of the Natsarim. They had me arrested because I became one who pronounces the name Yahuwah. Are people still mean and hateful to each other over the name? Diggs 2018. Acts 24:5. TorahZone.net. The name Jesus is a false name. Is the name of our Mashiach Greek, Latin, or Hebrew? From what ancient manuscript can you prove the fake name, Jesus? This is not to embarrass teachers, but to make the point that it's impossible to prove something is false based on a lack of evidence. To assume the Sanhedrin was out to kill Yahusha and all his Natsarim because they were using a Greek name is illogical for anyone to believe. The footnotes of the NIV give the meaning of their spelling, Jesus as Lord is salvation. Baal is salvation, that's a demonic name. They knew the real name meant Yahuwah is our deliverer, and had to look at the Hebrew because Jesus is a device that means nothing in Greek or Latin. One has to refer to the Hebrew to discover the real meaning. Surrender to the truth and be set free of all the devices and schemes. It will cost, but to know him is far more precious than anything this world can offer. Yahuwah Yahusha, read from right to left. I am your deliverer. And I read you guys the prefaces before in some of my earlier videos. I think I read one a few days ago too. Where it's circled right here, it says Yahuwah. It has a YHWH. The 4 letters. And they make it seem like Jews didn't pronounce the name because it was too reverenced, too KODESH for them to speak it. If that's the only name we can be saved under, that's the only name we can speak. And another one has Adonai and LORD in it. The circled text. Here is Adonai, and here's LORD, and Adonai is right here.
Okay.
Translation and transliteration. What is the difference? Translating is not the same as transliterating. If we translate the Ivrit word Yahusha, the real name of the man called Joshua the son of Nun, it means I am your deliverer. A partial translation is Yah is our deliverer. Musha, or Moses, invented this name for the first time. See Numbers 13:16 in any interlinear, by adding a yod to the beginning of the name Husha. Yod plus He, U, Shin, A-N. Transliteration involves how words sound by using the letters of the alphabets to preserve the exact sound of a word, such as we do with Shalom. Benjamin, Al Shaddai, Netanyahu, Yasharal, Israel, or Yasharal are both somewhat clumsy. Elohim, Asherah, Aretz, or that means earth, Abraham, etc. The spellings Dawid, Yusuf, Miriam, and Jerusalem are the closest transliterations of these Ivrit names for English readers.
Okay.
English readers seeing a sign, Welcome to Jerusalem, instead of Jerusalem, I do have the pouch, is a far cry from removing the name of the city and replacing it with a device someone invented so no one would pronounce it properly. Okay.
Roscoe, please, I cannot do this. Roscoe, come on, I'm not going to be able to dash. All right, come on. We have to, Roscoe, we have to work together. Come on, dude. Come on.
Okay. Sorry, I had to grab my puppy. Go, Roscoe.
Roscoe, come, please, because it's going to, I'm going to be going in and out.
Yahuwah gave us the 3rd commandment to preserve his name, but men forgot his name and replaced it with Baal, a demonic name. Yirmiyahu 23:27. Baal is the Ibarit or Hebrew word meaning Lord. Go!
Roscoe, come
The
on.
pronoun God is not found in the BYNV for the reason you will come to realize in the next few pages.
Well, that's great.
The BYNV translation ignores the traditional vowel marks
We got a call.
invented in the 8th century. The Masoretic vowel tampering mutilated some words we transliterate because the errors still remain in many resources. The spelling of the pronoun Elohim, commonly known as Elohim, uses 5 letters: Aleph, Lamed, He, Yod, Mem. At Bereshit or Genesis 1:1, the BYNV reads, "In the beginning, Elohim, High or Mighty One, created Aleph Ta, the Shamayim, skies or heavens, and Aleph Ta, the Arets."
The dash is on.
The first letter in Elohim is not an E, but an Aleph, as we see in Abraham, Adam, Elisha, Asha, and Eretz. Asha is wife, Eretz is earth. The phonetic sound of some words have been altered by the Nukud marks, invented by a Karaite sect, the Masoretes, traditionalists.
Let's go.
The word for woman, Asha, or wife, is often seen spelled Isha with an I, due to the influences of the added vowel marks of these same Masoretes. Elohim is another phonetic example of their work, as is the Yeho, which we see used in place of Yahu. In the BYNV, the spellings of the Hebrew word names and titles derived from the written letters themselves, not the added markings invented in the 8th century. The spelling of the pronoun, commonly known as Elohim, uses 5 letters, Aleph, Lamed, He, Yod, Mem, and is rendered as Elohim. El Shaddai is rendered Al Shaddai, or Al Shaddai. Isha is corrected to Asha, and Yahusha, Yahuwah are preferred rather than Yeshua or Yehovah. These are spellings with the Hebrew letters alone without added vowels. The BYNV Introduction and Glossary explains these characteristics further. God. Shemoth or Exodus 23:13 prohibits us from taking the names of pagan deities on our lips. With that in mind, the origin of the term God will exempt it from our use. The 1945 Encyclopedia Americana has this to say under the topic God. God, common Teutonic word for personal object of religious worship, formerly applicable to superhuman beings of heathen myth. On conversion of Teutonic races to Christianity, term was applied to supreme being. This definition is referring to Nimrod, the first human to be worshipped as the sun, and a mighty one against Yahuwah. Acts 7 explains everything. We Natsarim are learning who we are to Yahusha, but seem to fly into rages and become hysterical because we want knowledge and we want it all right now. A little knowledge gleaned from information spread by a newly awakened student is often incorrect, because words have to be interpreted by their context. For example, there's an ongoing controversy regarding the suffix used with the name. Shah and Shua stem from a root, Yasha. When a person sees the word Shua in a concordance, they select the worst possible meaning for it, and go to war against all who use whichever spelling they disapprove of. We need to be better than this, because even if we have all knowledge without love and a sense of helpful compassion, we may be found to be destroying rather than building up the body of Yahusha. Each person needs to find their purpose for which Yahuwah awakened them to serve his body. And we all are given different skills, gifts of his spirit. To be equipped requires patience, discernment, and study. The disinformation on the internet is mostly argumentative, and confused teachers continue to imagine they have discovered a new code or hidden secret. With Yahusha's guidance, we can do better than this by looking only at him and not twisting his word, like the Pharisees. In the beginning, Yahuwah instituted the week and Shabbat at creation in 4004 BCE, and mankind's disobedience caused a darkening of the human mind. Violence led Yahuwah to bring the flood upon the Eretz, or the earth. 1656 years later, men rebelled again under Nimrod. Yahuwah confused our language, and 2 millennium later, he came to appear among us in the body of Yahusha, and his Natsarim carry his message. Stephen or Stephen was one of us, see Acts 7, and his words of truth were rejected, even as Yahusha opened the heavens, or the Shamayim, and caused his face to shine upon the man. Let's not scream with our ears shut, and stone one another, as some continue to do. Let's love one another. Wisdom shows its uprightness by results. The KODESH, and the KODESH, and the YERAK. KODESH with a QO, and KODESH with a KO. All the reading material on the 30-plus calendars popping up like weeds all around us is the only information most people look at. And the scriptures being quoted by all the calendar specialists are being interpreted in English without looking at the Hebrew text. A reader looks at the word moon in their English translation without realizing there's a difference between the word Kodesh with a K, the period of a month, and YERAK, the physical object in the sky, the moon. They will continue to debate in the way they first comprehended these terms until they disentangle themselves from men's teachings and test everything using an interlinear translation. The crowd is easily misled, but it is very difficult to convey a deceived person they've been deceived, or to convince a deceived person that they have been deceived. Have a look at some of the confusion here. I will put the link in the description box. Note, Kodesh with a Q is a different word meaning set apart. It uses a different spelling than Kodesh with a K, although the words sound identical. Hebrew word for moon, YERAK. Hebrew words draw their meaning from context. YERAK is the object we know as moon. We can see the YERAK. What is a month? A month is a concept mostly referred to the temporal period it takes the moon to renew. Kodesh H2320 can mean new and can also mean month. The concept of renewed moon tells us we are in a new temporal period, measured by the light building on the surface. On the first day of a moon, there is 0 light, and 15 days later, the light completely fills the disk. Kodesh with a Q, H6944, is a homophone sounding similar to Kodesh with a K, but means dedicated. You can find this at TorahZone.net. And here is the picture. Simply wishing Yahusha's name to be JESUS does not make it true. Go! It's just been accepted by most people. If we know his real name, we are responsible for teaching the truth of what it is. We should never criminalize a person for not knowing, but after careful debate, we should be able to arrive at the fact that the word JESUS did not exist at the time the Sanhedrin was sending Shaul out to arrest people for saying the name. Why would they even care if a Greek word was being spoken, when it was really a Hebrew word that they had forbidden? The bull or bill issued to all the Catholic bishops in 2008 forbade the utterance of the 4-lettered Hebrew name. They think it is Yahweh or Jehovah. Why would our enemy, the dragon, care if we use a Greek word? He would not. But on the other hand, the real name is the one being forbidden, just as they outlawed the real Shabbat in 370 CE. Sunday is not Shabbat. It's the first day of the week. So much has been maligned, and Peter told us it would be maligned at Peter 2:2. Rosaries, originally Hindu?
What?
Yes, rosaries were originally Hindu. Yep.
I didn't know.
Oh, I know you didn't. Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. It's not only burqa-clad nuns and bead praying that came into the Middle East along the Silk Road trade route out of India, 200 BCE, but the practices of praying to the dead, necromancy, circumambulating around objects like that big black cube, holy water, Ganges River syncretism, domed buildings, stupas or steeples, bowing to images and lighting candles for the prayers to rise to the host of heaven. Birthday cake wishing, like making wishes to genies or jinns. Yep, when you blow the candles out.
Craving the Christmas wishes, like making a Christmas list.
Yeah.
Craig totally different. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. Nimrod is Santa. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. The Shiva beads were embraced by the Arabs. Then a formerly Muslim town, Fatima, named for a daughter of Muhammad, was the site the beads were handed off to Roman Catholicism. The name of the creator is Yahuwah, and this name was forbidden to be called on in 2008 by a papal bull, substituted by tradition. Substituting fake names or praying to Yahuwah when we won't obey his Torah, Proverbs 28:9. He says it is an abomination. Praying to the dead is necromancy and cannot be justified by the example of the first Nazarenes' behavior. Nor is it even possible for the dead to hear us. We were told not to do it at Deuteronomy 18 and Leviticus 20:27, and incurred the death penalty. Rosaries are a pagan item, originating in the East, and like the 7 sacraments, more divination, are schemes of the devil to program the masses in following the vicar of Nimrod and the reign of Babel. It's a culture based on divination. Look inside this book to see how far we've fallen. Nimrod's secret identity. Is something missing? Yahusha sees us all as little children, misguided and vulnerable. He winks at our ignorance. As Paul told the assembly of 400 Greek Areopagites at Acts 17, But as he brings us truth, we have to receive it. The truth changes us as he refines us to walk in his path. When Lou was very young, he prayed to him in the dark basement of his family's home after returning from Catholic school. Even in the 1st and 2nd grades, he remembers telling him, "I did not know his name." The evil behavior he saw every day in those who were teaching him at school made him question everything they said. Most people who attend steeple meetings on Sunday mornings have the same sense that something is very wrong. We would not want to use signs and wonders as a litmus test about the name Yahusha. The Yahudim look for a sign, and the Greeks seek wisdom. But we have received the mind of Yahusha for discernment. Drink deeply of the living waters, Psalm 1. Do what you read in Scripture, and watch how it enrages the pastors, who teach you to read them, but not to do them. Why read them and not do what it says? Altering the word causes us to eat wormwood, the bitter waters of death. Natsarim are here to help, assist, build up, and bring the lost into the fellowship of Yahusha. Hate and gossip is not a fruit of Yahusha's Ruach in a person. When we listen or read words that don't follow Romans 12 and Philippians 4, we detect the death and malice in the writer's heart or mind. Yahusha has redeemed all of us, and he is looking at the meditation of our hearts and the words of our lips and fingers typing. Nothing can separate us from the love he has for us, not even death. See Romans 8:38 through 39. Bitterness toward Yahusha's name and word. Yirmiyahu 10 talks about the idea of chopping down a tree dragging it into your home and decorating it. Please please get out of the circus. Have you asked any pastor to explain Malachi 4:1-6 yet? Idolatry is the fuel that propels the world economy, but it is also the fuel for the burning wrath of Yahuwah on the day he punishes the inhabitants of the earth. Idolatry founded by Nimrod, king of Babel. Most people have no idea they are possessed by deceiving spirits. Do you lie to your children about Santa? Do pastors lie to you about Christmas? No one named Jesus was ever born anywhere. Yahusha was born on the first day of Sukkot and circumcised on the 8th day, according to the Torah. Our pastors have fed us so many false ideas. They have exchanged the truth for a lie. They don't even know his name. The fantasy world is about to be shaken apart, and only the truth can set you free. Google Yahusha. Letter N in Arabic. I am the vine, you are the Natsarim. A mark of hate used by ISIS. So they turn something good evil. A mark of hate used by ISIS. Christians are Natsarim to Satan. Matthew 10:22. The symbol or mark being seen all around the internet represents a symbol of hate for Natsarim, implemented by ISIS. Let's not use this. It's the Arabic letter N and takes on the appearance of a crescent and star. The symbol Islam adopted from the Hindu symbol of Shiva, the destroyer of the Hindu Trinity. The Indian Empire reached Arabia in 200 BCE. And many Eastern ideas, practices, and even architecture flooded into the Middle East due to the trade route called the Silk Road. In Mosul, IS militants marked with a spray-painted the letter N in Arabic. Yeah, the Arabic letter for N. All Christian property to be seized after the ultimatum. N, or the symbol for N, is the first letter of the Arabic word for Christian, or NASRANI, or Nazarene. In Israel, Christian tourists are called NOTZRIM, NOTZRIM. Natsarim, NOTZRIM, NASRANI, Nazarenes. The same term is used for Christians by those who hate Yahusha. Hate is the bitter fruit of a bad tree.
I've been doing this. Okay, so for
an hour. Stop.
Come on, Roscoe, stop.
And the old serpent is still spreading deception through false teachers. They are identified by their fruits. Yahusha can use his last Nazarene with his message of love and transform a hater into a servant. The ISIS, or Sunni, S-U-N-N-I, movement has been using the Arabic letter for N to mark the homes of Christians, the fallen spirits that were in the Inquisition. Klan, K-L-A-N, like the Ku Klux Klan, and Nazis now inhabit other hate groups, and one of those is ISIS. Wherever we see bigotry, xenophobia, and hatred, Satan's minions are the perpetrators. Okay, so I believe I have about 2 lessons left in this book. 2 or 3. It's got to be 2 or 3. Yeah, I'm going to do that too, but I want to get to the new books.
I know you and new stuff.
I know me and new stuff. I love you all, and I'm just excited to have new materials to teach you guys about Yahuwah, Yahusha, Natsarim, anything else you guys need to learn about. You want to learn too, I know. Every time he hears something new, he stops me, and I teach it to him. But shalom, family, and Yahuwah bless you all and your families, and all of you that are close to Ohio, I'm praying for you that you are all safe and that you guys don't get any chemical sickness. In the name of Yahusha, I pray. Amen. I love you all.
Don't